African descent. Mr. Ford, Ms. Amina, please come forward. Good to see you both. State your name for the record and proceed, please. Thank you.
Chair Daphne, Chair Chamberlain, and members, my name is Brother Giovanni Ford. I'm the founder and executive director of Network for the Development of Children of African Descent.
Hi, Chairman, and my name is Nubia Amina, and I'm one of the parents, a part of NdCAD. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity to share just a little bit of our work and 25 years worth of learning how to change the trajectory for African and African American children when it comes to reading. But it's not just about changing the learning trajectory for our children, because children come from families. And so our work is with the children as well as with parents and community members. And so our holistic, whole family, whole community approach over the past 25 years has produced outcomes that are measurable and sustainable. We look at and honor culture as a resource for engaging children and their parents in their own learning. One of our staff is always reminding us through our programs, we don't do things to families. We set the stage and create the conditions for families, children and parents alike to take charge of their own education and learning trajectory. And so over the years, we have designed a series of learning models. We call them programs. We have an intensive reading intervention program, which gives our children an opportunity to experience success with reading skill development so that when they go into the school, they're going with a changed mindset that's based on some success. We also have designed a parent engagement program called Parent Power Literacy and Advocacy Workshops that help parents understand and demystify the whole complexity around literacy and reading development. When parents understand and children understand that it's not an issue of our children's ability, it's about how we engage them. We have to reach our children in order to teach them. It's not difficult to teach children the 5 dimensions of reading: phonemic awareness, phonics, decoding, comprehension, fluency, and vocabulary. It's not difficult to teach children to master and practice the 7 metacognitive comprehension strategies. But through our work, we understand when parents understand how reading is taught, how reading is encouraged, how the thinking inside of reading occurs, then they're equipped to be that first and lifelong teacher and create those strong literacy and cultural practices at home that translates to the support that our children need when they're receiving instruction from school. Final thing I'll say about our outcomes, what we've seen consistently over years is that when our children go through our 9-week intervention, they have a 2 to 5 level increase in independent guided reading levels, increase in the reading skills. In 2018, we were able to conclude a 5-year research evaluation study with Carrie out of the University of Minnesota and some of our community partners. And we looked at nearly 400 of our K through 3rd African American students in St. Paul. What the research found was that before our 9-week intervention, decodable word skills were actually on the decline. But during our culturally based intervention, self-doubt was extinguished. And children's language changed from I can't to I can. That's all we need to hear. Then they're open to mastering the skills. 6 weeks after the program ended, the data showed that decodable word skills were continuing to increase. So we're talking about a change of trajectory, and how do we sustain that change in trajectory by making sure that parents and families have what they need to support themselves and their children. So thank you for this opportunity to share a little bit of our work. If we have time, I'd really love to have you hear directly from a parent who has been and continues to be impacted by the work. Thank you, Chair.
Ms. Amina, Mr. Ford just referenced parents.
Hi, good morning. My name is Nubia Amina, so I'm a sign language interpreter. I just recently graduated. So I just want to briefly just talk about what I've learned since being involved. Literacy is a key importance in my family, and I was excited in 2021 that they had NdCAD, which was a Blaq organization. I am a child of deaf parents, so my first language was sign language. So it was a challenge for me growing up because I needed to know how to read. That was important, but I never had NdCAD. So I'm a visual learner, and I realized that my children are visual learners. So with this program, they taught me how to have learned the vocabularies of independent reading levels, guided reading levels, and overall how to teach my children to read. Once they gave me those vocabularies, I was able to sit down with their teachers and learn what their levels were. And also sit down with my children and figure out how they prefer how to learn. And all three of my children are the same with me. We're visual learners. So we like to touch, see, and be involved in what the teacher's doing and what's going on in the classroom. I was excited to hear also they have a program called Sankofa, which helps children learn how to read, which my children just fell in love with it, like really fell in love with it. They had the opportunity to see that their self-esteem get increased, the opportunity to see that they can read and be able to see that they can be visual learners and also have the opportunity to read. I'm also involved in their Parent Power program. I've been able to collaborate, understanding about the deaf culture and the hearing culture and bridge them together. I talked about Anton Hunter, who was a poet, Claudia Gordon, she was one of the first Black women who worked in the White House with Obama, and also Andrew Foster, who was the first Black man to get a BA degree and go to Africa and teach their literacy there in Africa. So my experience with NdCAD has been very, very wonderful. They have supported me and gave me a letter of recommendation and helped me to become a freelance interpreter as well as a VRS, which is a video relay interpreter as well. So I thank you for this opportunity to provide my history and my children's experience with NdCAD. Thank you.
Ms. Amina, thank you for bringing your story and your experience to the conference committee today. Much appreciated. Mr. Ford, thank you very much for returning to the House committee and to being here as well today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh,
We
Mr.
also
Chair?
have some handouts
If staff could support Mr. Ford there. Mr. Chair, you've got a question.
I apologize, I've not heard of your organization, but you know it's not often that I learn something new and hopeful with education. But your talk of families and parents being part of that and working on the science of reading, I think you've shown a path and kind of a model for public schools to follow as well. Engaging parents, family, and working on those critical, you know, the basic science reading stuff. So it really interested in that approach. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.